Hey, welcome to another edition of Local Focus. I'm Sebastian Noel. We have a wonderful program planned for you today. We have a couple of state champs from La Cueva in our Proview Network studios today, so we're pretty excited about that. But first, unfortunately, we have to give an injury update, and that's Amaya Brown, one of our previous guests. I'm sure you've read, but she cracked the starting lineup there at Florida State, and then she went down with a knee injury. It was not the same knee that was hurt at Cibola, it was the other knee, but so her year is finished there at Florida State, so we hope a speedy recovery there. I know that's, when I read that was pretty unfortunate. Any other updates on any other previous guests, send them our way at Proview TV, at Sebastian Noel 47. Any show ideas, or if you'd like to appear on the show, get in touch with me for sure. You know, Josh, our wonderful director, Josh Brown. Apparently we have some fans now, Josh. I don't know if you knew that, but you know, so we're in line at a basketball game to buy something. And someone asked me, who's the next guest? So we got to start being serious now, Josh. We have like an audience and stuff, which I honestly never thought would happen. So thank you for all the positive feedback we've been getting, and any show feedback, we'd love to hear it at Proview TV, at Sebastian Noel 47. But let's get to our first guest, and that's Kendrick Milford of the La Cueva Bears. Kendrick, welcome into the studio here.
Thank you for having me.
So you finally got that big decision off your plate, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk about that. Tell our audience where you're going.
I'm going to Eastern New Mexico University.
And what short list? What was the short list? Final, I don't know, let's say narrow it down to the final three.
It was Western New Mexico, West Texas A&M, and Eastern.
Okay, and then I'm assuming, did you take a trip to each?
I didn't go to Western. I did visit West Texas.
Okay.
Last week, I think, yeah.
And tell us about that. And I saw some pictures, I believe, on Twitter, so tell us about that visit.
It was nice. It's a nice school, big school, nice facilities, great coaches, great people there, but I just felt more in touch with Eastern.
Right. So you go to Eastern. What was that visit like?
It was same thing. It was real nice. I like the facilities. I like the coaches, the players, the school. I just felt a little more at home at Eastern.
Right. Obviously closer to home. Does that make a difference?
Not really, but it was nice.
Okay. And I mean, did you reach out to any? I know there's a lot of locals on that team. Did you reach out to anybody, or was this just kind of a decision that you made with yourself and your family, or did you reach out to any of their players? Or
I mostly just made the decision.
Are there any Bears on that team? I don't even know. We do homework here on Local Focus.
There was last year. I think Derek Lloyd, he went there, but not anymore. And there might be another one coming up, but
okay.
Not sure.
So you announced about a week ago, right?
Yeah, last Wednesday.
What was that? I mean, what was that decision like? You obviously your dad, former Lobo. Take us through that. What went through the final decision at home?
Honestly, I felt pretty comfortable making the decision. It was pretty solid. I felt comfortable with it. Just coming down to how I felt at the school, what I'm going to study, the team, the atmosphere, the mentality. It was, yeah.
Now, did you make any of these trips? This is the question I've been dying to ask.
Yeah.
Did you make any of these visits in your classic Kendrick Milford attire? The General Cornwallis coat, what are those sleeves called? The white when they come out that George Washington used to wear. And did you wear your classic Kendrick Milford attire on any of these visits? That's what I want to know.
I should have, but I didn't.
No? Oh man, that would have that would have been it would have sealed the deal right there. You walk into a room like that, General Milford reporting for duty here, right? Let's go back a little bit to your time at La Cueva. Let's talk about well, first of all, obviously I mentioned your dad, Lance, the Hope connection there. What went into that decision of going to La Cueva? Obviously the football pretty strong at La Cueva. Talk about that.
Well, it started in middle school. I played football with Hope, and I played with those guys for a couple years, but I think it was like my 7th or 8th grade year. We didn't have enough guys to put together a team, and so it was Cibola or La Cueva, and I went to La Cueva, played with them, and really got to know all the guys and really created a brotherhood, and that's why I went to La Cueva, for the football there too.
Now the expectations at La Cueva are pretty they're here. Like, I mean, we talk about, you talk about La Cueva football, you talk about the parents, like they're kind of crazy, like a good crazy. Don't get me wrong, because I know they're going to be watching. It's a good crazy,
Yeah.
but the expectations are definitely up here when you go to La Cueva, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I like the competitive atmosphere. There's a lot more hype that goes into the football program at La Cueva. Hope did great this year too, but like in the past,
Right.
it's not at that competitive level, and I just love playing at a high competitive
And
level.
obviously, if you want to go on to the next level, you have that in your mind that, hey, I need to be playing at the highest level, which is obviously a 6A school, right? Did that go into it?
Yes, it did. I knew.
So tell us, first time meeting Coach Back, because we're big Brandon Back fans around here because his sense of humor, his brutal honesty, and his general surly demeanor.
Yeah.
So tell us the first time you meet Coach Back. What was your impression there?
It was. I really didn't know what to think because with the dry humor.
Right.
It was interesting. Like, he's a good guy.
Like, you won the title. You can say, man, who's this a-hole? Like, you can say that now because you won him a title.
Yeah. Yes.
So when we have both you and Blaine, we'll ask both of you guys for your funniest Brandon Back story for sure. And then you have the setback against Manzano, right? Your junior year.
Yeah.
And talk about your mindset going into your senior year at that point.
I wanted to come back better, stronger than I was before, and it felt incomplete at the end of that season. Just everything, and I wanted to go win a title for sure. You
saw how they did it. You saw how Manzano did it. Very similar to the way you guys kind of pulled off that feat, and they had a good defense, strong line play, right? Were you guys automatically heading into that offseason thinking, okay, we got next year, this is ours to lose? I mean, what was the mindset?
It was, we knew that like we'd be coming back at a high seed, and everyone was gonna gun for us, but we just stayed hungry the whole off season. We worked hard and really had that mindset.
You guys lost some really nice pieces on defense. Lloyd Old, McLean, a lot of heavy hitters. And before the season, a lot of us were like, man, can this defense be as good? Missing those guys. Did you guys kind of have a chip on your shoulder knowing you guys lost some alphas?
A little bit, yeah, but we also filled the roles too.
Right.
Then some guys stepped up and got the job done as well.
At what point of the season did you kind of realize, or maybe it happened before the season, did you guys realize, okay, man, the defense is going to have to win some championships this year because, we're dominating. Our side of the ball is dominating. When did that become pretty apparent? And which is no knock on your offense. I mean, obviously, the fantastic quarterback, fantastic running back, performance in the game. But when did you guys kind of start to walk around like, all right, this is our team. Our side of the ball is running the show here.
We knew going into the season that defense is what we do, but I think personally, like when we started heading into district against Manzano, El Dorado, that's when it was like the defense is going to have to carry us. But
all right, we're going to take our first time out here. We'll come back from the break, bring in another state champ. One is not enough. Blaine Smith will join us on set here, and we'll talk about the season. We'll go through the playoffs and then his college choice. Much more to come.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Hey, welcome back to Local Focus. My next guest is another state champ here from La Cueva, one of Kendrick's teammates, Blaine Smith. Blaine, welcome to the program. Thanks for coming by. First of all, you guys went to a basketball game a couple of nights ago, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I understand that was pretty. That was an atmosphere, right? We have some footage of that. So, where are you guys in this mess? Can we find you anywhere?
Ooh, I'd probably be down at the right over there.
Okay, all right.
On the front lines, seeing me right next to the guy doing the splits.
Okay. What was that like? Talk about that La Cueva El Dorado rivalry, and obviously you guys experienced it on the football field.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the best rivalries in New Mexico football. I mean, we're just so close. Everybody knows each other. But, when it comes to sports, we're just, we want to win. Our school wants to win. So that's just kind of how we are.
And you guys had an interesting moment, to say the least, at the end of your game with the Eagles, right? Where Coach Back took some flack in the paper for that extra score. Talk about that. I mean, what do you guys think about that when you're on the field?
No, I mean, try to put the dagger in, I guess, is how you want to put it. But, it's Eldo. You always got to, run up the score. Why not?
So when your coach is getting all that heat, you guys have his back on that, right? You guys are obviously all for that, right, on the field?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, Coach Dodson comes out in the paper and says, well, that's not the kind of program we run here. That's what makes a rivalry great, right?
Absolutely, yeah, no, I mean...
And those guys, I don't really think they like each other. They can pretend, but I don't really know if they like each other. All right, let's talk about your college choice. First of all, tell our audience where you're going.
I'm going to New Mexico Military Institute.
Okay, and tell us about that.
I visited the program last Friday, and I just kind of fell in love with the military aspect of it, and just the coaching staff was awesome. They're really invested into their program, and they're in one of the best JC conferences in the country, and I mean I want to play against the best if I want to be the best.
So who else was on your radar? Tell us about that.
Eastern New Mexico was on my radar as well. They offered me, but they have a great program over there too. It would have been nice going with Kendrick, but I just felt like Nimi was a better fit for me.
Now, speaking of Kendrick, do you remember the first time that he walked in his full attire, with the coat, the sleeve? When was that?
Oh gosh,
I was watching the Metro Award Show and I about fell out of my chair. I thought it was so awesome. But when was the first time you saw it?
It was probably my sophomore year, and it was our awards banquet. And Kendrick, got his jacket on and everything. We're just like, what the, Kendrick? What's going on, dude? But it's kind of what makes him him. So
you guys have cool nicknames for him because of his attire?
Oh yeah, we got Zeus over here with his hair.
Okay, all right. So, from a football standpoint, I mean, what do you, New Mexico Military Institute, you talked about, they usually play a pretty decent schedule, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, if I want to be the best, I got to play in the best conference. And, they have a great coaching staff over there, a great program. And, I just kind of fell in love with it.
Do you know any current players there? Or?
I do not, actually. I'm just kind of going in, just trying to make a name for myself, putting New Mexico on the map.
Talk about, I mean, it's probably not something that you guys think about as La Cueva Bears, but to have so many players go on to play at the next level, it's pretty special. I mean, not every program can claim that. Is that an expectation at La Cueva, that you're going to have those pieces go on? You're going to have guys go on to the next level always? I mean, not a lot of schools can claim that kind of excellence.
I mean, we actually have a pretty good history of guys going to the next level, and it's just we're at one of the best programs in the state. So I mean, we just have a lot of guys coming in with some talent, and just so happen they can make it to the next level, and it shows.
And obviously, you guys are putting the work in. Tell us about that a little bit. I mean, what's in season? What does your day look like? You wake up at what time?
At the beginning of the season, we'd probably get up around 6:30, be over there by like 6:45, and then start workouts in the morning, start working on plays and starting on routes when it's getting closer to the season. We lift every morning, and then practice after school extracurriculars. If you want to go hit the jugs machine, go hit the jugs. If you want to go run some routes with the quarterback, go do that. So I mean, it's just always a constant, trying to get better.
When you're at a place like La Cueva, is there ever pressure when you're on a squad where the team before you had some pieces that went to the next level? Very impressive players, some players we mentioned like a Derek Lloydell, and a McLean and pieces like that. Is there pressure to kind of just move the ball forward, carry that legacy on?
Oh, absolutely. There's pressure. You got to live up to what happened the year before. We lost state that year before, and then we wanted to come back and do it again. And I mean, we did it, and we won this year, and so it's good.
So take us through the season. What was kind of your highlight of the season before we get to the playoffs? But
my highlight, It would probably say that Monzano game. You know, that was a tough game, and that was probably our closest game all season, just because, you know, we played them in state last year, and, you know, we just had a little bit more hunger, and it was real close, and we got the job done, and that was just one of my favorite games.
Now talk about what kind of sacrifices are you guys making to be so successful and to play at such a high level? You know, when other guys are, you know, going out and maybe doing their own thing, you know, you guys are obviously very committed to the program. Talk about that.
You know, sleep's also just a big thing, you know. I mean, if you want to be the best, you gotta, you know, sacrifice something, and, you know, that's kind of one of the big things that we do. We wake up at 5 o'clock, workouts at 5:30, you know, just trying to get better and trying to get there before everybody else does.
Okay, now can you? We want you to start thinking about your funniest Brandon backstory, because we're gonna hit that after the break. Okay, and I know that's gonna be a highlight of the show for sure. But let's close up on that basketball thing one more time. Or we're not gonna look at it again, but just we'll talk about it. You know, so you guys all wore your medals, right?
Absolutely,
I saw that.
yeah.
Volleyball girls, were they there? Did they wear their medals?
I don't think they did. I think it was just a football thing.
So whose idea was that?
It was mine, Connor O'Toole's, and Barrett Hamker. You know, we just kind of wanted to you know, represent. I mean, we did it, so.
Now, has anything crazy or cool ever happened in that rivalry? Like, is there any mascot kidnapping, anything like that that I would have saw on Saved by the Bell when I was growing up? That's you probably don't even know what I'm talking about when I talk about Saved by the Bell. But is there any cool stories like that out of that rivalry?
You know, not really, not that I know of. I mean, maybe we've thought about it. We just never kind of went through with it or done something about it. But, you know, not really.
See what happens when kids are not growing up on Saved by the Bell? They're not stealing each other's mascots. They're not defacing any property. None of that stuff's happening anymore because it's an old TV show. All right, we're gonna take our final time out. Come back. We'll talk about the funniest Brandon backstory, and we'll go through your guys' senior years and kind of take us all the way up to the championship.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Welcome back. All right, it's time for the moment that we've all been waiting for. Well, Josh and myself, we're both Del Norte Knights, and we both know Brandon back personally, so this is the part of the show we've been waiting the most for. Our craziest, funniest Brandon back stories. Who wants to go first? You guys have been all day. All right, go ahead.
One time we were practicing.
Now, we don't want to edit this later, so it's got to be one that's suitable for the show.
So yeah, one time we were practicing. You know, we were having a great practice. We had a great week. It was sometime last year, and, you know, Coach Beck hops on the little gator, the little tractor gator, whatever.
He's got the gout, so he's got to, you know, he can't just walk around, right?
Oh yeah.
He's got to get on the gator.
He's got to get on the gator, throws on the helmet, and, you know, we get dodgeballs, little dodgeballs. Drives across the field and we're throwing dodgeballs at him. You know, it was fun. You know, it was a coming to moment deal.
Team bonding kind of thing, yeah. Okay. Now you got, who do you think out of that whole exercise? I mean, who just put a little bit extra on it? Who was really upset at Coach that week? I mean, who enjoyed that the most? Do you think if you had to pick out a player or two that probably, you know, well, I mean, was DeAndre just wearing him out? Because, you know, we know what that is all about. But, you know, who enjoyed that the most?
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
All right.
That's all.
Okay. All right, Kendrick. What's your funniest Coach Back story?
I think probably after the second time, he was going skiing and he tore his ACL, I think, and he shows up to school in a wheelchair. It's like, Coach, what is that about? And he's like, nah, dude, my foot hurts. Like, his knee was fine, but he's like, my foot hurts. And he's like wearing a boot, you know, he's on crutches. And it turns out, he's like, I think I broke my foot. And it turns out, like, he just has gout. And so for the longest time, we just gave him so much about just having gout, and it was funny.
I remember, and I would be the last person to joke about gout because I have gout. But I remember I went to a game I did. He had the boot on him still, and I said, "Coach, what's the problem?" He's like, "Oh, I have gout." and I was like, "Oh man, that sucks me too." And so Coach is injury prone. Is that what you're saying?
Very.
Yeah, with his little calves.
Oh, yeah.
So if he's giving you guys the business for not being out on the field or nursing your injuries, you guys just throw it back at him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wheelchair after skiing. What's that all about? All right, let's go through your senior year. First of all, we kind of touched on it briefly with Kendrick, so I'll give you the same question, Blaine. How motivated are you after that setback against Manzano in the title game?
Oh, it was literally that Monday after we were back in the weight room, it was just, we had the 24-hour rule, you can sulk for about 24 hours and, it's time to go. It's time to get ready for next season. The seniors aren't there, so we got to step up. And, now the juniors are the seniors, so now we got to get the ball rolling. We got it done.
Start the season, Volcano Vista, Valley, obviously easy there. Las Cruces, you guys just killed them early in the season. So what's your mindset like, Kendrick, early in the season?
I really didn't know what to expect. Against Volcano Vista, we were down, I think, like 2 touchdowns. I was like, oh, crud. Like, what are we going to do? And we came back and we beat them. I was like, okay, that's nice. Valley, like you said, was easy. I thought Las Cruces, watching the Las Cruces El Dorado game early in the season, it looked like a basketball score. And that was crazy. I thought they were going to be real tough.
We did that game. Yeah, that's the game we went down south for, right? The El Dorado Las Cruces game.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of defense being played in that game. The Rio Rancho one, the 23-18 win against Rio Rancho, that one was, I think, closer than a lot of people expected. Talk about that.
Yeah, that was just, I don't know, it was just a little rough at the beginning. We come out a little short. I'd catch a return. I slip on the 1 yard line, kind of set us in bad field position, and then, our offense was kind of struggling. Our defense was kind of, giving up a lot of yards, and then, we kind of started to click, and then we got the win, luckily. So,
You guys ever heard of a little fella by the name of Marty Watts?
I have not, no.
Well, he's our sales manager here, right? And so he's got his little radio program on Saturdays, right? And this is right about the time of the season where Marty starts spouting off every week about, I think there's something wrong there at La Cueva. They're not winning by enough. Maybe they need to make a change at quarterback. And, this is the noise that's happening around the team, right, on the outside. First of all, do you guys hear any of that nonsense? What is it like inside the program when you got our sales manager, having these dopey opinions on his radio show?
It's definitely heard, but, it's kind of in one ear, out the other. It's just like, we know that was a close one. We got to come back next week stronger.
The Clovis game, 10-7 there. That's one that obviously could have got away from you guys. That one was as close as it got to getting away from you guys. I remember watching that one. Talk about that.
Oh, yeah, that was...
That was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was a good one. It's always fun playing down in Clovis because, it's just a different atmosphere playing at their stadium. And, just like I said, it was just a defensive battle. Offenses couldn't get rolling. And then, luckily we have a great kicker like Dom Camacho, and, he can kick that ball. And, he put us through, so. I
called him you guys MVP the whole year.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's no slide on you guys, but
yeah.
I think, man, he was so clutch. Kendrick, talk about, at this point of the season when these games start getting closer and everyone's talking about, whether it be Marty or Yodis or anybody talking, what's wrong with La Cueva? Is that something that brings you together and motivates you guys?
Absolutely.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I love it when, you read in the paper and Yodis is like, oh, well, Cueva, maybe they don't have it, whatever. I love it because I love being the underdog, coming up, showing, proving them wrong. But it definitely brings the team together, a lot of motivation to win, do as best as you can.
Is there ever a mindset in the locker room of, hey, there's still a 0 on the other side of that dash. We still haven't lost. What the hell are all these guys talking about? Is that ever a mindset, or are you guys just kind of about the business at that point?
No, yeah, it's just get the ball rolling, just keep on going. A win's a win. And then, just got to get it done each day at a time.
Playoff start against Las Cruces. That's a tight one, 17-14. Take us through that.
Oof.
Boy, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was a close one.
Towards the
Absolutely.
end.
That kicker.
Yeah.
Thankfully he missed it, but I mean, that was a close one. That was one of the closer games of the season. Absolutely.
And then obviously the championship game. Talk about that. Talk about the just amazing performance out of your running back, DeAndre. And, what was that feeling like on the sideline? I mean, that game was, there was some distance between you guys. So obviously you knew you guys were bringing home a blue by the second half there. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, DeAndre just had a heck of a game. What was it, 300 yards rushing or something like that? 400, whatever. But, just our offense was just clicking, and then defense could just get some stops done. And then, I mean.
Should we have some highlights so you can take us through these?
Oh, yeah, there's DeAndre taking it for a run.
Kendrick, you jump in. You'll be Tony Romo. And Blaine, you can be Jim Nance. Go ahead.
Oh, man.
Touchdown. Bang.
I wasn't expecting to be up against Cleveland. I knew it was going to be tough. It was going to be hard.
You thought you guys were going to have to grind this out defensively. Yeah. Is that what your thought was going into the game?
Absolutely, yeah. This right here, I just saw the ball pop out. I was like, oh, I'll jump on that. But that right
there we go.
And as things kind of started to open up a little bit, I mean, you guys play with a pretty high confidence level. I've had the privilege of doing a lot of your games on the sideline. So I know you guys are a very confident group. I mean, when this game starts to open up a little bit, talk about the mentality on the sideline there.
I mean, it's just, let's keep it going. It's a state championship game. You never know what could happen, so why not just keep the gas going? And, it's always fun to play real well in front of a big crowd, too. So, that was awesome. There's nothing like it.
Comparing the two games, obviously the result in this one you're going to like a lot more than the result against Manzano. But how were the games different? It seemed like this one was a little more wide open style, not the defensive struggle, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we just had that chip on our shoulder, like I said, just coming after a loss, just being in that atmosphere kind of really helped, just being there the year before.
Kendrick, on the defensive side of the ball, when that thing started to become, once we knew you guys were going to win there, I mean, what was the mindset of the defense, knowing you guys just had to close things out and let's lift the trophy?
We didn't give up on the field towards the end, but we knew it got a little more exciting. Started yelling, screaming a little bit more on the sideline, and it was just a fun, great experience, to be honest.
What's the obviously the championship there, but what's the high school memory you guys are going to take away from La Cueva as you go on to the next chapter?
State championship, yeah, I think that. I mean, it was always just kind of the expectation just to get there. We're La Cueva, we win, and we did it. And I mean, I was glad it happened my senior year. So,
Kendrick,
something just to take with me through the rest. Just I think perseverance. We didn't get it the junior year, and we came back, got it senior year. We never gave up. It was persistent.
a lot of teams going with that redemption mindset. You guys actually carried it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
State champs right here. Blaine Smith, Kendrick, Milford. Thanks for coming into the show. Good luck in all your future endeavors. Hey, keep us up to date, okay?
Thank you.
That'll do it. Join us next week.